institutions. That's basically what I want us to get into details. One, are institutions managing very well the waste? How are they doing so? And what exactly can be done? So we just want you to deeply go into details so that we can actually pick a leaf from here and there and get to know what's it.
Well, thank you. Now, to the viewers on different platforms. Now, waste in education institutions has been one thing. We are doing very badly. That is on a sad note. And the main way we are managing waste in our education institutions is through putting fire on the waste, burning and haphazard dumping of this waste garbage. But I want to put a disclaimer somewhere. I must say that waste is only a resource in a wrong place. Let me
Waste
repeat.
is only a resource in a wrong
Waste
place.
is only a resource in a wrong place. What has brought us here mainly is to inform the public, and beginning with education institutions. And why education institutions? They are an organized community, and they have numbers. They can be change agents. So programs that go through schools and religious institutions normally succeed. There is a leadership, there is a system, and people are in big numbers. If they decide to do something, they can impact the environment. And people in a school community come from different places. So anything that they learn can easily spread like wildfire across the country. So even beyond the borders. And unfortunately, that act of burning affects a number of things before I get to the poor disposal. One, when we burn, there are a number of diseases, especially plastic waste. If you check, there's a book I wrote titled Wealth from Plastic Waste, but it's where I indicate a summary, at least because there would be many that one would be able to read. There are several diseases that one would get when you inhale. You breathe in the smoke that you see. First of all, I want to say, I will use a small example of people who smoke. How will you know that somebody has been smoking? You hear and say, somebody has been smoking around. It is the smell. And I am very sure that you will not get that smell unless it has reached your nose, right? And it will not bounce back. So the same with the smoke. When you see smoke, in layman's language, we say omwika. It's not just air. It is small particles, particulate matter, small particles that move together that your eyes cannot see. They join together to show what you see as smoke. So every time you inhale, these small particles settle into our lungs. So for parents, I have 3 children in school, and they go to schools where they burn. So I appeal to parents to speak to the school managers. You pay your school fees, but I don't think you'd want to hear that you've paid school fees for your child to go and get a disease that will take his life. And really you go. Some of the diseases, cancer risks, meaning it's a risk, but they eventually bring cancer, irritation of respiratory tract, aggravated asthma, chronic respiratory diseases, shortness of breath, sore throats, breathing difficulties, dizziness, headaches, slowed reflexes, mental function, visual acuity and alertness, nervous disorders, growth defects, intestinal problems, dying of the body senses, among others. So now, those are the most expensive diseases, and respiratory illnesses are the most, they are the most expensive diseases to treat, and normally they take your life. Very expensive. This is medically researched. They will tell you go to any hospital, and the increase of such illnesses, the increase is on they are on an increase. The cases are being reported. And this is because we burn. Someone will tell you, but if it is paper, there is peroxide. So anything you ban which is uncontrolled, and by the way, banning is illegal in Uganda, beginning with the constitution. The constitution of Uganda.
Waste is illegal.
Yes. Banning
ban
waste, yes, just banning any waste is illegal. You're supposed to get a license from NEMA for regulated or controlled banning. So every person you see banning waste is a criminal in Uganda. Let me repeat this. Any person that you see banning waste is a criminal and can be arrested. By the way, if you didn't know,
because we look at banning as one of the easiest ways of disposing of waste.
But it is a wrong way. I say two wrongs cannot make a right. True. So the constitution of Uganda that we are well familiar, that is the main law, our main Bible in Uganda guiding us, says that we are entitled to live in a clean and healthy environment. Any action that is against your constitutional right to live in a clean and healthy environment is illegal and is a crime punishable by prison. You go to constitutional law. So it is very bad.
Releasing life. Kenneth and Sarah will be, of course, coming back. Let's just take a break. When we return, there's some sensitive issues that we will have to discuss. Banning of waste is a crime and is actually unconstitutional. I didn't know personally. Let's take a break. We shall be back.
Promotion hangura oya tena new way aho muhanguzi arayitwa resora TV ya inchasho tuniri radio hamana na touch yona mu kitereke kimwe ecyokora cyangwi tunga cyo kunywa cya new way akapapura kari yacupa okatagure kurunji omuntu murashange ko rero zo musimu yo ukandikira message oteje mu code okurasa amazina gawe ecyaro egomboro district bwanyuma osindi cyasimu MTN ya 0 mushanje mushanjisha 0M abiri nina niga yete 0 mushanziremo 0M abiri nina bwanyuma wahinza korecho koze sesimu yiwasinditsa kodejo osindike usiringira 10 obe wayeta bakurunja mu draws ezirazanwe live buri wiki konkangana hataba new way timwa kubaka kutamagara marunji reba mwahemba n'amashemero makagito okumanya bukiraho terera simu ya 0 mushanjisha 0M abiri nina Ungia 0 mushanziremo 0M abiri nina Muchana nagaruka
Ayishi mbene hato kwakire kinebe bunga buwandetera nakugira ngo leta kahunga kabesa niya sako na mbene wabo takaresere Christmas no girya wenga
Mbene nkaka nakaleta
Oh my god webaro mwami wanje
ababesania seko abakushangwa poroti namba 5 hina na zebra crossing high street omulimbarira nibo cyo kugaruka mu cyaburi muntu wena omumbera yona nobwire bwone kandi abwabusha ndebegesa abantu okora no kwebisaho bahumuriza nabe mirimo itari kutamburaje nibahereza no n'abashubuze bake n'abahango loan zo burisa n'ubuhinji okugura amataka school fees loans no kugura ibintu byo munzu hamwe n'izindi nyingi aha tugoba tucemo nonga kandi oteberwe ngo bine na mobile banking nibo batwinire n'akahunga k'umurembe buzima ibanda tushanga hina na Stanbic Bank kandi rubindi turi hina na gas petrol station ningo teresi ya 0 mushanju 82 nkaga na mukaga 0 mushanju 9 na mushanju
Amazing Life. Good morning. Thank you very much for being part of the hotspot. This is Kenneth and Sarah. They joined us today morning to specifically talk about waste management, and there's a lot that we are getting to understand. There's a lot that we are getting to learn. I personally didn't know that it was a crime to ban waste. And people out there, I have to admit that I was even one of those people advocating for Mosievi, if there's something, Kunganye, and then ban them. But unfortunately, if you didn't know, one, we are getting sick because of that smoke from there. And secondly, it's also a crime. And it's unconstitutional, and certain somewhere that you are not meant to ban whatever is happening. Now, if we talk about the plastic waste, to what extent are they a danger to wetlands and at the same time the crested crane?
Okay. Thank you. As I mentioned, I work for International Crane Foundation, Endangered Wildlife Trust Partnership.
But do we still have many crested cranes around? I take long without even seeing them, by the way. Like seriously, I take long without seeing crested cranes. Do we still have them?
That is true, and very many people will tell you, oh, when I was young, they were here, there were
many. There used to be many, almost everywhere. They used to move two of them, but now we don't even see them.
Yeah, and the reason for that is in the last 30 plus years, the number of cranes has greatly reduced by 80% worldwide.
That's touching.
Yeah.
Worldwide?
Worldwide. Yeah, because the cranes are not only here, they are spread across different countries, but they've reduced by 80%, so making them endangered.
What would be the reason? What would be the reason? Mainly worldwide. It's alarming when it comes to...
Yes, the reason the cranes are reducing, the number one cause is wetland degradation. The wetlands are where the cranes breed, where they feed, where they feed, they breed and roost. So because of the increase in population, obviously people have encroached on the wetlands, trying to get land to farm, and in turn they are taking away the space that the cranes are supposed to occupy. That's the number one reason.
Okay.
Yeah, the other reasons that range from poisoning of the cranes due to the human-wildlife conflict. Then we have illegal trade. Yeah, we have illegal trade of the adult cranes, chicks, eggs.
We have people who sell them?
Yes, they sell them
across
borders, yeah.
Okay.
Yes, so the threats are many, and the threats are not going away unless we intervene and engage the communities that are directly close to these cranes and try to educate them on the importance of the crested crane. Yeah.
Okay, so we go back to plastic waste and its danger to environment and crested crane at the same time.
Yes, as Kenneth mentioned, plastic wastes are becoming more and more a bigger problem to our environment. Now, our wetlands, much as degradation of the wetlands affects humans, it does affect humans because these wastes release toxins in the water system, and he mentioned the diseases that we get from mismanaging the waste. So when it comes to our crested cranes or the grey-crowned cranes, these because of poor disposal, we've seen the riveries, you see there are bottles on top of the water, so that
bottles everywhere.
There are bottles everywhere. So these plastic obviously go also in the wetlands. They accumulate in the wetland, causing it to... No, a wetland is supposed to have free flowing water, clean water. So when there's accumulation of these wastes, there's an effect on the quality of water. It will affect the people, but it will also affect the cranes, because in this water, cranes not only feed on crops, they also feed on tiny fish, tiny frogs, just aquatic life, basically. So when the quality of the water of the wetlands is compromised, they don't have a food source, and also if it's toxic, then that's where we have the unintentional crane poisoning, because sometimes it's intentional to kill them because of the conflict, but there are times where it's unintentional. We have cases where cranes have died because they are poisoned from what they eat or what they feed on. Another effect of the plastic waste on the cranes themselves is they pose a health risk to the cranes when the polythene or small plastic is ingested by the cranes. They can cause blockages in the digestive system, or they can cause internal injuries. And then another thing, so there are wetlands where people can fish, so they use plastic materials, the nets and everything. So the cranes are prone to predation because they get stuck when they're in the water. They're prone to predation, and also they're vulnerable, because if it's stuck somewhere, it's not going to get out. It's vulnerable to predation, to other dangers. It might starve to death while it's there. It also, the plastic waste in the wetlands mainly causes mobility issues. Mobility issues meaning it's not going to find food, or it's not going to be able to breathe, it's not going to be able to move freely within the wetland or anywhere it can be. So there are various risks that the plastics have on the cranes, but it's majorly through the wetlands to the cranes. So that's why it's very important to educate the communities on proper waste management, because it does not only affect the people, it affects the wildlife, especially now our cranes and other wildlife in the wetland, because yes, we look at the cranes because that's what we are conserving, but the other wildlife that are affected.
Okay.
Yes.
Before I go back to Kenneth, you've moved, you still move around,
Yes.
and you've visited very many places, you've seen very many wetlands, people encroaching, some preserving them. What exactly have you experienced? Are people getting the message? If you tell them, please, this is dangerous, like how Kenneth was saying, burning stuff is not good. Are people picking that message, or they're just like, we don't even need the coastal cranes after all, we just see them at our Ugandan flag and that's it. Are you seeing people picking up that message? Are you seeing people getting to understand the clear message you have? Because you have a very good message. You and him are trying to give us information that some of us didn't know. And I'm very sure people out there that are actually watching are also following suit. Are people getting sensitized? Are people picking up? First of all, how are you finding them?
I would say it's a work in progress. With people, you have to have continuous awareness and sensitization, because to some, if it's done, it does not directly affect them. They don't see the use of doing something, forgetting that the continuous degradation of wetlands and poor waste management is something that's cumulative, that with time it might not affect them now, but it will affect them later. So the pickup of the message is, I would say, it's being picked up by some people, at least now. What they need is to know, okay, yes, I'm not burning the waste, or I'm not just throwing it anywhere, but what can I do with this waste? How can I manage it? How can I reuse? How can I recycle? So there is still that gap of people not knowing what to do. Even those ones that are taking up the message, they need that further sensitization to know that, okay, if I'm not doing this, how best can I preserve the environment by managing the waste properly? So it's a work in progress, but it's a message that will keep spreading no matter what.
How can I deal with this waste? How can I deal with these plastics? Kenneth, that's a very interesting question. Someone is not going to burn, someone is not going to encroach the environment, someone is not going to disturb the crested cranes, but at the same time, we have empty bottles. We have these empty plastics, and you also know it. You came with something that is very interesting that I want people to also know. This is, I don't know how I can define it. I think it's better for you to also define it yourself. But whatever she has actually said, I've picked that. Where and what can they do with the plastics? Because at the same time, they have them, and they're not going to bind them, they're not going to, but what can they do?
Now, to begin with, I forgot to say that burning of anything, including grass and leaves. I did research. I didn't know that you can get cancer by burning grass and leaves. Now some people should be saying we are finished.
By burning that dry grass
and
that
leaves, because the chlorophyll within here. Did you know there are some plastics that are made out of plants?
I didn't know, of course.
So, I want to qualify this. Now, plastics originate from the remains of crude petroleum, oil remains. Now, people shine the smoke out of vehicles a lorry is passing, unserviced car, you're like, you turn. Now, there is no difference between that smoke of the vehicle and the smoke out of plastics. Okay. Let me repeat this. There is no difference between the smoke out of the vehicle and the smoke out of burning of plastics. People light charcoal stoves with kavera. I'm talking about things we know. People cook food with plastics as firewood. Broken plastic chairs.
Yeah, that's true.
Hey,
that's true.
They are thinking about the food today. Because you pick cancer now, you need to know the increase of cancer rates. So, my dad died of cancer slightly over 2 years ago. So when I'm talking of cancer, I talk about it with great seriousness. As a family, we know what we went through in terms of the expenditures and losing our dad, our dear dad. So some people, not until that disease visits your home, you not understand what I'm talking about. For some people, they will have to sell all their property and they will continue and die. That because survival, normally they give a maximum of 2 years on average. You will not live beyond that time and you will have sold everything. Now I pity the people who are poor. Actually, I really don't understand. Surfitins, those are, we call them in plastics chemistry, it's polystyrene. So there is, when you burn it unfortunately, that's the suit. Even these white protectives, where you buy a radio and a TV, these protectives, it's also a plastic. A mattress is also a plastic. Now, mattress self-scattered in the environment, these small pieces cause bronchitis, among other illnesses. So sometimes we are talking about these things, they think it is a joke. These white things and sulfy tins, when you burn them, including other tins for yogurt, but yogurt is sometimes PP, that is like for blue band. When you burn, there is soot, small, minute black particles that come out. Now, those ones float in the air and they stay in for quite a long time. They could spend like about 6 hours or so. So meanwhile, you inhale because they keep in the air for, and you notice, if you burn a small part of surfeitin, you don't need to burn a whole thing if you need to know the danger. People who are listening and watching, you make a trial. Get a very small piece like this, small like this, burn it and observe. You know what I'm talking about. Now what I'm talking about is practical. If you want to try it on your life, burn a small piece like this. You don't need to burn a whole thing. Now that will show you how much danger you're in when you burn the whole thing and keep piling. Now, it directly affects breathing. I talked about breathing difficulties. You will notice the breathing changes the way you breathe. You don't, even in 30 seconds, when you are near a place where they are burning plastics, your breathing immediately changes. Now that is what some schools that are insensitive are doing to our little children. Now for the children, their systems are more sensitive. The inhalation of those smokes affect child development. That is why most children who are staying in slum areas and areas that burn a lot, such environment, even if you are in a good environment that burns always. Of course, what makes the environment good is the practice around you. Retardation, their capacity to understand things in class is low. Go and do your research. It is not by accident that someone, and that is why people who have prospered and have grown from the village are more sharp, and those that are around the lake, apart from the fish, they are more sharp because they are in natural environment when it comes to progress in life after university. Now you may say you've gone to a very good school in primary, international school, but the results will bring us how many have studied in international schools and later after campus, what are they? So these are real
some
issues.
of the small things we don't notice.
So if people must take this serious, you are a parent, you're listening to me, go to your school, tell, we have organized this workshop. By the way, I've forgotten to tell you that thanks to International Crane Foundation, they have put in some resources to subsidize on the cost for the workshop we've organized to tell these things I'm telling you to all education institutions here in Imbaland. We've invited the mayors from all cities and the town clerks and even universities.
And when is that?
On Thursday
Tomorrow,
this week.
one.
Yes,
Okay.
at Imbara High School from 8 to 5. And we are going to also create a Zoom link that is going to connect over 500 urban councils across the country. We are targeting up to 1,000 people. So today we'll get the link. We'll be able to share so that people can feed in and be able to learn. Now, people are asked to pay 50,000 to attend and learn. There will be standard breakfast, standard food. They will be given materials. Now, this book alone costs 50,000, but there are 2 books we intend to provide for those who have paid. And we mentioned that the deadline is today because they have been knowing at 5 p.m. because we have to plan the rest of the day. So there is.
You have plan for the people that will have paid.
Yes.
So that you have a brighter Thursday.
Yeah.
I get
Answering you, let me start with the plastics. Now, this was a bottle at one time. People who have saloons, things, this has been made by a child of under 13 years in Chengela. I just arrived this morning from Kampala.
So these were bottles.
Yeah, these were bottles. These are strings cut from bottles, different colors of bottles. And I saw the technology I have never seen. A small wood like this with nails, they put in the bottle and pull and
make those.
Very straight.
That design becomes the way it is.
Yes, they are going to demonstrate. That team is coming. That team.
So
that is we have several exhibitors.
Okay.
This and these are from the rings of the bottles. They are good strings. They are the covers. Then the rings around the bottles. Strong and they can work miracles. Now these are sold. This is a dustbin.
Also made
out of bottles.
Out of plastic.
Out of plastics. And there are different sizes they are going to bring. You know, and this for office is about 20,000. But this is money that can be made by our youth. Bottles. Hands is just a skill. We are running such trainings. We construct houses with bottles. And actually, those who want to know, the next time you want to visit GNTV, this very week, we have plans to construct your gate. Our gate here.
This is all made out of plastic.
Yes, bottles.
These are bottles,
different colors.
These are just bottles. Everything that we are holding right now
is bottles.
They are actually bottles. So if you're watching,
they are big. So you
don't
shouldn't
ask
ban
yourself
them.
what exactly. I think this must be a reason as why some of these people that are collecting bottles around town might be having some of the ideas, because
actually they carry them
to
the recycling facility. Right now, some investor has put in money to start to make cloth material, fiber from the plastics, where they make shirts and t-shirts. Yes, has invested about $7 million to be able to come up with that. So people.
So for these people who have actually been asking themselves, where can we put the bottles if we don't ban them? Bottles are very interesting.
So we are encouraging schools to have a waste corner where they stock and they earn money. Instead of earning the disease that will take their money, they keep preserve their health and
money
earn
that
money.
they don't even have. You
Exactly.
see, that's the most annoying part. The money that you're saying that this will take is the money that most of the people don't have out there.
Yeah, so when you're banning this, I've not talked about different things. Those who come that day, they will see fencing poles. Fencing poles are made from plastics. You're going to see boats that are made from these bottles. Boats. Actually, one school called Kisasi Primary School made a boat with mineral water bottles on the lake, and they went into a competition with those who had imported boats. Yes, and they won. They got an award. You come, you will see the boat. They are bringing it on Thursday. Out of bottles. A sofa seat. I sat on that chair on World Environment Day at Kololo on the 5th of June on World Environment Day. It was very amazing. A sofa set. Actually, when you sit and you're seeing the bottles, you'll not believe that you're actually sitting on plastic. Very comfortable. Actually, I found more comfort on it more than the other sofa sets. Out of bottles, you can imagine. Right now, we are planning to make a Christmas tree. You've seen the tallest want to make a very tall Christmas tree with different colors out of bottles. We are embarking on that this month. So we will not have Christmas. So people want to make orders for Christmas trees. We make Christmas trees durable but very attractive. More than anything you can imagine. Leave alone these Chinese plastic Christmas trees. You need to test our work. They are chairs and tiles, roofing tiles, floor tiles, wall tiles made out of this. All those you're going to see on Thursday. So
people who have been there assuming and trying to ask themselves why exactly you can't put these plastics, remember they are very useful. You can't believe you can make these things in different sizes, different quantities, quality style, and you can even get to understand they are planning to do Christmas trees. There are very many things. So basically,
and of different colors, by the way, like you see this, they are for this color, there's for this color, there's for this, and all these colors are going to be there. So those who come, it will be free film. We have a group from Gulu, all the way from Gulu, Takataka Plastics. There is a serious recycling industry there that are producing different items, tables, chairs, different things. We're going to see. They're all the way, and tiles from Gulu.
And tiles?
Yes. And face masks for COVID and the like, helmets. Everything, this helmet shells.
So they got to know the use of these plastics.
Yes.
Other than
And then we have another group called Eco Bricks in Masaka. They are also coming. We've confirmed. All this funding that we are seeing subsidized is catering for facilitators. We have people coming to teach us on different aspects. So there's quite a lot on that today. And GNTV, by the way, is very welcome. You will be fully.
We are going to be part. I must be part of that.
You're going to see something great. So there's something
to cover and stuff like that. Very interesting stuff coming in from Kenneth. I think we should get some last words from. Let me begin with Kenneth. As we wind up, the message you're going to give people, and of course inform them about the Thursday event, and we wind up, because we're just remaining with 1 minute.
Okay. I want to thank my listeners. I've given this information, and by the way, people need to know the network of GNTV. They need to get the link. We are getting there. I'm part of GNTV, by the way. I'm calling upon every education institution from nursery up to university, please come and attend this workshop. But you have to confirm not later than today at 5 p.m. We are an organized organization, so confirm with the either Education Department of Mbarara City Council, because we are doing it in partnership with the Mbarara City Council, or Mbarara High School. You call any administrator at Mbarara High School. There are some of our partners, or Crane International, but we have phone numbers that can be called. And then also universities. All universities in Uganda, we call upon you to send representatives to be able to attend and learn. Then urban councils, we've started because of space. We have space for only 10 cities, sending a representative each, and then the municipalities, there are about 30. For the other over 500 urban councils, we do. But on first serve, if the municipalities delay, it is on first come, first serve basis. Those who approach us, and environmental NGOs, LOCs. So we want to solve this problem. The numbers are 0703 446557. 0703 446557. And 776 93 9093. 0776 93 9093. You'll be talking to the directors of Pla West for more information related to that. But we'll be happy to receive you on Thursday.
Sarah Kugonza, any last message for the people that are actually watching?
For the viewers that are watching,
based on where you're working and the environment and stuff like that.
Yes, as we've mentioned, it's important to have proper waste management. Not only do plastics and poor management of those waste affect us as humans, because it goes from the diseases, it goes to affecting climate change, which we know is a big issue in the world right now. It also affects our beloved national bird, which is the crested crane or the grey-crowned crane. So if you can make it to this workshop on learning how to manage waste sustainably, tune in through the Zoom link that will be shared on that day. Or, as he mentioned, the institutions. There's a reason we want to go with education institutions, because it's the children that are the leaders of tomorrow, that are the ones who are going to affect the change that we need to see tomorrow. So those that can, please join us in learning about how to sustainably manage wastes. As I mentioned, the burning that he was talking about, besides the health impact, it also affects our climate. It technically speaking, it releases gases that are causing the very erratic shifts in the weather conditions that we experience. You're talking about, oh, it's very dry, we haven't seen rain, or it's raining too much. These are all the effects of how we've poorly managed our environment and how we've poorly manage the waste. Okay. And then to add on that, as International Crane Foundation partnering with Plow West, we also have an event in February, which is the Crane Festival, and it's a celebration of the cranes. We are trying, since we are coming in Tumbara, we are celebrating the crested cranes and their conservation, and this festival is usually in celebration of World Wildlife Day. We go with the theme of World Wildlife Day. Okay. But we urge anyone from Mbarara, Chihura, even outside of these two districts, to come so that we learn about the crane conservation, working towards to ensure that our national bird increases in number and we have the pride of our country back.
Thank you very much, Sarah. Thank you very much, Kenneth, and thank you very much, the viewers. I'm Edgar Kampa. That's how our hotspot today has been. Have a lovely day.
Thank you.
Limited batuletera promotion hangura oya tena new way aho muhanguzi arayitwa resora TV ya inchasho tuniri radio hamana na touch byona mu kitereke kimwe ecyokora cyangwa tunge cyo kujya cya new way akapapura kari yacupa okatagure kurunje omunda ngurashanje ko rero zo musimu yo ukandikira message oteje mu code okurasa amazina gawe ecyaro egomboro district bwanyuma osindi cyasimu MTN ya 0 mushanje